All right, now in this video, we're going to dig off into one of the most despised left-wing senators that we have in America today, and that's Elizabeth Warren. And there's a number of reasons why Elizabeth Warren is despised. Could it be because she used her agencies to go after certain corporations, acting like that she was fighting on behalf of the people, but really it was about associates of her political opponents? Could it be that she acts like, she's fighting for the healthcare of Americans when we've already found out they're fighting for the healthcare for illegal immigrants and for able-bodied Americans who decide that they don't want to work? Or could it be for this one reason that I'm going to show you in this video that you may or may not have known? But I guarantee you, after I show you this about Elizabeth Warren, it will blow your mind if you aren't aware of it. Now, in this first clip, Elizabeth Warren recently went on CBS News, and we all know CBS News is a left-wing radicalized publication. We saw what they did during the debates. We all know how CBS News gets down when it comes to Republicans and how they treat people on the other side of the aisle. When it comes to Democrats, they give them softball questions, softball interviews, and never push back. Until now, over this last week, the Democrats have been facing something that they're not used to. It's called the follow-up question. These interviews are by no stretch becoming super pressure with a lot of pushback. It just proves the fact that when Democrats have to come face to face with facts and they're forced to respond, they can't defend their position without lying. Now, I'm going to show you this clip. Then I'm going to show you the bombshell information that came out about Elizabeth Warren that rocked her credibility. And then you're going to hear what President Trump had to say about it, because it'll make you laugh, but it'll also piss you off when you find out, when you hear what this woman says here, and then you find out what she actually was doing and why she has such a an interest in different cultures and whatnot. So, but let's get off into this first clip. Listen to Elizabeth Warren while on CBS, she gets called out for her BS. Check this out.
Republicans say what you're really fighting for is taxpayer dollars for, as they put it, illegal aliens. I know that's not strictly true, but there is a provision.
Excuse me, not strictly true.
It's not true directly, but
out lie. It is a flat out lie.
The way that they frame it.
In Medicaid, there is nothing in Medicare that permits one undocumented immigrant to get $1 of assistance.
Senator, if you let me finish the question.
Of course,
Senator,
I'm sorry.
Sorry, in the Democratic counteroffer, the proposal for funding, there is a restoration of Medicaid benefits for certain non-citizens that it had been taken away in the big, beautiful bill, as the Republicans put it. Republicans don't think those people should be getting health care on the taxpayer dime. I'm not asking on the merits. Politically, putting that in there exposes you to this talking point, this lie, as you put it. Why put it in there? Why is it worth it?
No, what's happened is that what we're saying is that whenever hospitals give care, what is going to be the level of reimbursement? And the Republicans said it's going to be a low level. The Democrats said we just want to go back to the level it was before because you're going to bankrupt hospitals. You're going to put rural hospitals out of business. The Republicans and the Democrats plan, nothing changes the number of undocumented immigrants who still get care if they show up bleeding and unconscious at an emergency room. There is absolutely zero difference. The difference is whether or not hospitals, who under laws that date back to Ronald Reagan, may provide emergency care to anyone who's unconscious, will actually get reimbursed at a very low level that will put the hospital ultimately out of business potentially, or at a higher level. The Republicans, there is no change in the number of undocumented immigrants who get any help under what the Democrats want. Look,
did you hear what she just said? There's no change to undocumented immigrants who get the help they want, to get the help that the Democrats want. Exactly, Liz. That's what we're talking about.
Senator,
what we're looking for is help for people who are going to get pushed out of nursing homes, help for people who are at home and relying on home health aides. That's what this.
Now, the man just read to her. He told her, hey, look, this is in your bill, and it does repeal no Medicaid for illegal immigrants. So they're being technical, saying, well, nowhere in it doesn't say medical insurance for illegal immigrants. No, what it does, it repeals the legislation in the big, beautiful bill that eliminates Medicaid for illegal immigrants. But that's why they keep saying, oh, there are going to be millions of people kicked off Medicare. Yeah, illegal immigrants. In California, do you know in California, they're using their emergency services fund to pay for illegal immigrants Medicaid. So the way they made it legal, they're not snatching out of Medicaid. They're snatching it from their emergency Medicaid fund that the federal government reimburses. Do you know 40%, as high as 40% of the California emergency fund budget is being used for Medicaid for illegal immigrants? That's not just hypothetical, that's fact. Now, I want to show you something else that's fact. She says, oh, Democrats want to save rural hospitals because Republicans kicking illegal immigrants off of Medicaid is going to make rural hospitals go out of business. Here's the real. This right here is the legislation. And as you can see, this is from July the 30th, 2025. The one big beautiful bill protects rural hospitals. It gives right here $50 billion to rural hospitals so they can provide care for Americans in rural hospitals. See, what the Democrats want to do, they're the ones that really want to bankrupt rural hospitals. You know why? Because they're not sending illegal immigrants out to rural hospitals. They're not sending them to rural places. They're sending them to heavy populated sanctuary cities that are draining the government of their resources in the name of Medicaid to take care of illegal immigrants. But right here, $50 billion to rural hospitals in the President Trump and Republicans' one big beautiful bill that protects rural hospitals. So when you hear Liz Warren or any of these other Democrats ever say, oh, the Democrats want to bankrupt rural hospitals, they know that their voters are too ignorant to go research. They also know that Republican voters like you and I, we do our research. So we know the truth. We know that the one big beautiful bill protects rural hospitals, protects Americans' Medicaid, and keeps illegal immigrants off. But that's why they keep combining it. You notice they keep saying 15 million people, 14 million people, not 14 million American citizens. Pay attention to the wordplay. They know better than to say this many American citizens are getting kicked off Medicaid because they know that's a lie. That's why they keep saying 15 million people. If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit the thumbs up. I'll never ask you for a cash app or a super chat, but you hit that like button, it helps a great deal. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And whether you're subscribed already or subscribing now, make sure that you hit the notification bell and select all. YouTube misses out on sending notifications sometimes, but if you hit the notification and select all, YouTube will make sure that you get notified when I upload new videos because they include illegal immigrants. Some of them believe that illegal immigrants that are here on visas, TPSs or temporary work statuses, they think that they're what they call lawful citizens, not legalized Americans, lawful citizens. And under the first proposal that the Democrats submitted, see, right now the Democrats are playing off the wordplay in their second proposal that repeals the one big beautiful bill protection for Medicaid for Americans. In their first one, it literally said alien Medicaid eligibility in the text. They took that back and they reworded it, but they didn't know that the internet and the Republicans was going to go hard at them. Now, you just heard Elizabeth Warren talking about how concerned she is about Americans. Now, check her out right here. She went berserk when Jimmy Kimmel was pulled off the air, right? And I'm not sure if you know this, but as of late, we're finding out that Americans all over the country were censored when it came to the pandemic. Now, check this quick clip out. It's only 19 seconds. And then I'm going to show you the bombshell information about Liz Warren. But check this out. When somebody's confronting her over, she talks about free speech for Jimmy Kimmel. But she says nothing about the Americans who were censored over the pandemic and taking the jab. Check this out.
Senator Warren, you applauded the people for pushing back against Jimmy Kimmel's temporary suspension after Charlie Kirk's assassination, but you were nowhere to be found when people were sounding the alarm over COVID censorship.
Very much. Thank you.
Speak on COVID censorship?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
She ran like a track star, didn't she? Because she knows she had nothing to say. Now, I want you to listen to this clip right here. You're probably going to hear some information that you did not know. But check this out. Did you know who Elizabeth Warren has always claimed to be up until, I want to say around 2015, 2016, prior to 2016? You're about to hear who Elizabeth Warren says she was, how Elizabeth Warren got into college, who she portrayed herself to be. Now, pay attention to the woman you're looking at and hear what she says and wait till you hear what happened afterwards. Check this out, because it's going to blow your mind and crack you up.
Being Native American has been part of my story, I guess, since the day I was born. I don't know any other way to describe it.
In the Senator's genome, we did find 5 segments of Native American ancestry with very high confidence, where we believe the error rate is less than 1 in 1,000.
That's right. Liz Warren has 1/1000th Indian blood in her. And after that test, she stopped digging into her family history. Unfortunately, investigators at Reuters did not. They did an investigation and found out Liz Warren's ancestors owned slaves. Liz Warren is more slave owner than she is Native American. Now, lucky for Liz, she's not alone. Reuters found out that more than 100 American politicians, including 5 living presidents, 2 Supreme Court justices, and 11 governors are direct descendants of slave owners. Wait a second. That report said 5 living presidents descended from slave owners. Even Joe Biden? Yes, even Joe Biden, which makes this whole thing a lot more uncomfortable.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
To me, that was one of the worst insults that a Democrat or any person can make to somebody if they don't vote Democrat, then they ain't black. And how people, I don't care if it's white, black, brown, gay, straight, cannot see that the Democrat Party has been the party of Jim Crow, has been the party of segregation, has been the party of racism. They have been, I mean, the entire, people love to say, well, the Democrat Party of the 60s is the Republican Party now. No, it's not. Not when you had the exalted cyclops of the KKK, the West Virginia Senator, Robert KKK Byrd was the exalted cyclops of the KKK, was a Democrat his whole life. Joe Biden gave the man's eulogy. That was one of his mentors. He was also a mentor of Hillary Clinton. So no, the Democrats of yesteryear are not the Republicans of today. The Democrats of then have just learned how to hide their racism or their prejudiceness. That's why they say everybody should abort babies and we should have open borders. They don't care. But they don't care about white, black. It's not about race. It's about economics. It's classism, not racism. So they got everybody fighting for racism when in reality, they don't care. It's the rich and the poor. And I don't care what color you are. If you got the right type of money, you can hang out with the elite class. And I don't care what color you are. If you're poor enough, everybody's going to be together in a melting pot. There's not like white poor people section, black poor. Poor people tend to live together. You know what I'm saying? Where they can afford. But this woman lied about being Native American, and she has 1/1000th of it in her blood. Joe Biden is saying this crap, but let it go on.
It's not just Joe. According to Reuters, President Joe Biden and every living former U.S. president, except Donald Trump, are the direct descendants of slaveholders. Jimmy Carter, W., Bill Clinton, and through his white mother's side, Barack Obama. Trump's ancestors came to America after slavery was abolished. And Obama's mother's family owned slaves. So my question is, will Barack Obama have to pay himself reparations?
So let me get this straight. The one person that they call racist and prejudiced, we're going to put all the people of color in concentration camps, was the one person whose family never owned slaves. Obama's, Biden's, Bush's, Clinton's, all of those families all own slaves. They're all descendants of slave owners. But Trump is the racist. That's why the Democrats project so hard. They project what they really are. Now, you just heard what it say about Elizabeth Warren. She was running around and doing her Cherokee thing and putting feathers in her hair and dancing like she really is a part of that. But after she was exposed, it was 2019. After she was exposed, she had to apologize to the Cherokees because she took scholarships from Cherokee people. She took opportunities and jobs from Cherokee people, all while lying. This woman is white-faced, blonde hair, blue-eyed. Not saying you can't have some mixture in there because there's some people that are black, but they're albino. So they have light skin, blue eyes, and blonde hair. But this ain't albino. This to me looks very European. Come to find out, she is. But she lied. She lied. She acted as if she was some oppressed person just to take advantage and maneuver and manipulate her way to the top. Now, people like her coming out screaming about Medicaid and screaming about this, that, and the other. While they're screaming about that, they act like they care about people and our seniors, and they don't. And that's exactly why I'm extremely happy that I connected and partnered with Chapter. Because while these Democrats are running around acting like they're fighting for our seniors, Chapter is one of the best companies at helping seniors make sure that they have the best Medicare plan available. When my mother first started looking for plans, she was confused. She felt like everybody was trying to spam her with calls and just trying to sell her stuff. And then when Chapter comes along, they give an unbiased perspective to make sure you've got the best Medicare plan. If what you have is the best, they'll let you know that. But if you're eligible for more, they'll let you know that too. In less than 20 minutes, you can learn if you have the best working plan, because it would suck to find out next year that you've been making payments on a plan that no longer covers your prescriptions and your doctors are no longer in network. So in less than 20 minutes of a phone call, one of the Chapter agents will help make sure you got the best Medicare plan available. And it's simple. All you have to do is visit the website at askchapter.com/realpolitics or call the number on the screen. Make sure you tell them Brian Maxwell sent you, and they'll take great care of you. And that's extremely important, especially while these Democrats are trying to run around and act like they're really trying to help the senators. I mean, the people. When you got people like Elizabeth Warren stealing from people who actually could have had those opportunities. But let's listen to our president, President Trump, who's going to lay out what he feels about Elizabeth Warren and what he thinks of all of this stuff. Check this out of the president.
Mr. President, regarding the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, Democrats, including Elizabeth Warren, have said that by freezing it, it's giving big banks and giant corporations the green light to sue families.
Pocahontas is the faker. That was set up to destroy people. She used that as her little personal agency to go around and destroy people. And she's a fake. Just like she said she was an Indian, and she wasn't an Indian. You have more Indian blood in you than she has. She went to college based on the fact that she was an Indian. She got jobs based on the fact that she was an Indian. She's a fake. That was set up to destroy some very good people, and it worked. I mean, it worked. A lot of great people. I'll tell you, before I ever heard the term, people would come up to me in the Midwest and areas and say, "Sir, I'm being destroyed by them." They use that to destroy people. She's a nasty woman. She's a really nasty woman, despite her phony beer commercial. We did the right thing. That was a very important thing to get rid of. And it was also a waste. I mean, number one, it was a bad group of people running it, but it was also a waste. If you looked at when she really ran it, wow, that was a vicious group of people. They really destroyed a lot of people.
And you confirm it's your goal is to have it totally eliminated?
I would say, yeah, because we're trying to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse.
So what he's talking about is her running the Consumer Protection Agency. And remember, they were acting like, oh, we're going after fighting for the little guy. But funny thing is, she typically only went off after Republican-owned or Republican-supporting companies. When a lot of these left-wing radical companies that were really sticking it to their customers, for some reason, they would either get a slap on the wrist or nothing would happen at all. She was weaponizing it against anybody that didn't align with her political views. And it shows you what type of character this woman has. If she was willing to go her entire life faking like she was a Native American, like she was just from this oppressed group of people that Americans, that the Pilgrims came in, pillaged and took advantage of. She rolled that into college, rolled that into a political career, and then was exposed after already being a senator. And you know what's funny? Nobody can go back and re-give that young lady who could have got that scholarship for being Native American, or that young man, or who could have got that job on the back of them being a Native American, or who might have became senator on the back of being an authentic Native American, which is why she had to apologize to the Cherokee Nation, because she lied and she stole and she manipulated. And if somebody will lie about their race, i.e. Elizabeth Warren, i.e. Kamala Harris, what else would they lie about? Kamala Harris was born to Irish and Indian parents, but still walking around saying black, even though it's been exposed, the black woman that she had in her autobiography, not in 107 days, but in the book they did on her life, she has a picture with a black woman and she says, "This is my grandma." Come to find out, it was the maid, because Kamala Harris grew up very wealthy, very wealthy. So all of these Democrat politicians are liars and fakers. And then the president that they call the racist was the one who never owned a slave, and his family never owned a slave a day in their life. The more I learn and the more I investigate, the more I realize that whoever wins and whoever has control can create his story. We call it history, but it's also his story. And what better way to condition a group of people than to say, hey, this is the way things were. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that people weren't oppressed, they were, but did it really happen like that? We already see people lying about being Native Americans. What if we were lied to and certain groups of people weren't treated as badly as we're told they are? It's just said that to psychologically condition people to feel a certain way against another group. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? Not saying it so nobody take offense to that, please. But wouldn't it be great if that was the truth, that it didn't really go down like that and somebody did lie? And at the end of the day, we have historically treated each other better than the media always portrays. Wouldn't that be awesome? But hey, that's for a whole nother video in the time and place. I just wanted to bring you this about Elizabeth Warren to show this woman, the reason why she's so concerned about illegals, because she might think that she is one. Hell, she portrayed herself to be like she was this oppressed person, and she would have considered herself to fall right in line with the oppressed illegals, even though she was a European woman that utilized misinformation to get ahead in life. And now she thinks that we should believe what she says now. Get out of here. But I just wanted to bring you that. How many did you know that she had been running around saying that she was Native American her whole life until she was exposed through DNA as having 1/1000th of Native American blood? How about the fact that our president, his family never owned him, and the fact that Barack Obama's family did? Ain't that something? And that's a good question. Does Obama owe himself reparations? That's funny, but I just wanted to bring you this, and that's a joke at the end, but I wanted to bring you this. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about it. If you've hung out and you watched it up this point, I want to thank you from the top and bottom of my heart. If you haven't already, hit that like button. If you are subscribed. Most importantly, I want you to stay safe and you be great. I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.